I still take messy action. I mean, I was just talking with Jillian here about, about a block that I've been having in my content lately. And I'm doing it anyway. I'm still taking the messy action. I'm still showing up even when I'm like unsure of what to say.
Welcome to Thriving Teacher Talk. I'm your host, Jillian Fernandez. I'm a former teacher from New York turned full-time mom and teacherpreneur on a mission to help you create a profitable and sustainable income selling your teaching resources or services. I'm here to make your life easier by giving you the best advice, trainings, and mindset shifts to grow your business, and most importantly, save you time and sanity. Welcome back to another episode of Thriving Teacher Talk. Today, I have the privilege of interviewing JennaLee from It's JennaLee over on Instagram. After leaving the classroom from burnout in 2020, Jenna has made it her mission to build and grow an online business that is sustainable and lifelong. She was able to create an online teaching business that earns more than she did as a classroom teacher, teaching what she loves, music, as well as build multiple income streams such as courses, coaching programs, and the Limitless membership. Now she helps teachers find sustainable ways to make an impact and income outside of the classroom while still being able to teach. She believes you deserve a job that allows you freedom and respect, and that any teacher can earn an income while working from home. Let's get into it. Hello, Jenna. Thank you so much for joining us on Thriving Teacher Talk. I'm so glad that you're here.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so honored to be that you thought of me. And I mean, we see each other on TikTok, so I've been watching your content for a while.
Yeah, and I watch your content too. You're amazing. So can you tell our listeners a little bit about your background and how you transitioned from being like your traditional classroom teacher to doing online courses and then helping teachers now create more money and more autonomy in their teaching careers?
Yes, for sure. I won't give you like the whole entire spiel because it's probably going to take like a year to talk about that. But almost 3 years ago, hasn't quite been 3 years ago, 2.5 years ago, my husband and I, we were talking about, okay, we should move somewhere. And I was thinking at the time, like, I can use this move to transition my career in some way. And I thought about going into college again, getting another degree, potentially becoming a school counselor. And the funny thing is, at the time, first of all, I didn't want to get into more debt because I wasn't paid off my, current debt, still have debt. And second of all, COVID had just erupted at the time that we were moving. And there really wasn't a way for me to go to college. And so, I was out of a job for a couple months and I was like, oh gosh, what am I going to do? So I kind of threw myself into just looking online, looking for work from home opportunities. And I stumbled upon online teaching and I was like, you know what? I have the skills for online teaching. And at the time it was all these ESL companies. So it was like, you teach English. Okay. So I was like, okay, I'll get my certificate and teach English, right? And at the time, I was just like, okay, I'm just going to do this for some extra income. And because I was out of a job completely, right? So I started that. And then I fell in love with it. I was like, this is my business. Like, it sucked at first, but I still loved it because I felt like I just had so much more autonomy and no one was telling me what to do. And I was able to schedule my own times for the most part when I was teaching for these ESL companies. Like I could work in the morning or work at night, Right. And then after that, a lot of teachers were talking about OutSchool. And OutSchool, it's like you could create your own classes on things that you're passionate about. And I'm like, I'm on to that. So I was like, I'm just going to go right in and do that. And I started teaching music and it was like, oh my gosh. And I still teach music online and it's just incredible. The students love the lesson. Like they just love being there. They're so passionate, Right. Sometimes in the classroom, it's like, and this isn't, to say all students are like this, but sometimes there's just students who aren't feeling like they want to do that type of thing. Like I taught choir and I had a lot of students who just really didn't want to be there. Yeah. And the students that come to my online classes now, it's like, if they're going to pay for it, they're going to obviously want to be there, because they actually just like pay to get it. And so, that's kind of been for, the last couple years, that's OutSchool has been the main thing. And I realized so many teachers were interested in my story and in doing this type of teaching where you can have full control over your schedule and you can teach what you're passionate about, or at least the parts in your like subject that you're passionate about. Like you don't have to teach to the test or anything like that. And you can also scale your income more. I've been able to almost double my teaching income.
Can you talk a little bit more about that? Because I know you recently said that you increased your own teaching salary by like $30,000, right? That was something that you had mentioned. So what are some like of the strategies and things that you use to actually get to that point to help other teachers kind of see that potential?
Yeah. So the first thing I did was that I made sure that my online classes, specifically on OutSchool, were like created, like helped students go from point A to point B and were actually what parents and students needed on the platform. So I did my market research there, and there are definitely ways to stand out on the platform and ways to research to understand what parents are searching for, and also to like solve their problems through your classes. Like for you on TPT, it's like you're solving a problem through your resources. It's the same thing with the online classes, right? It's just a different outlet. So I did that as I really focused on, you know, I created like 50 classes. Okay. I did not, you know, teach all of those 50 classes, but I did create that. And I really did a lot of research on what do the families really need. And I really put myself in their shoes. Right. And then after that, after I was getting a flow with that and I was tutoring a lot. So I was teaching a lot of one-to-one classes and I had some group classes, but I was like, you know what though? I do want to reduce my teaching time, but also be able to scale my income. So I switched a lot of my one-to-one classes to either small group classes or large group classes. And that's where I was able to spend a lot more time on content creation outside of my online classes. So at this point, when I was like specifically only teaching for OutSchool and teaching my online classes there, I was earning, you know, between $4,000 to $5,000 consistently each month, which was awesome. But I was still teaching 5 days a week, kind of back-to-back classes. You know, I was feeling a little bit like this is a lot of work. I don't have time for my content creation. So that's where I was like, I really do want to create some passive income. And I showed up on TikTok. The first thing I actually showed up was on YouTube. Now I do more of TikTok and Instagram. And I have been consistently every day showing up, solving problems of teachers who want to transition out of the classroom and want to build this business that I've been able to build. And so I showed up consistently there. And then what really allowed me to actually increase and almost double my classroom income, which I'm sure this year I'm going to go over doubling, which is awesome, but is my membership, that kind of one-to-many program for teachers, because with that, I do a total of 4 hours of work, you know, creating the trainings and group coaching during the month. But then with that 4 hours of work, multiple, you know, teachers can sign up. So that's been able to allow me to reach more teachers and help them to transition out, but also, you know, get more of my time back and even expand further into like potential coaching programs and things like that. So that's where the real boost has come from.
So now that you've experienced a lot with different teachers and with your membership and all of that, do you feel like there are some misconceptions that teachers have or obstacles that they face when it comes to earning more money and having that control in their career?
Yeah. So there's a few that have come up, definitely like with my private clients and in the membership. A lot of teachers don't like feel that they have the skills for other careers or to own their own business. And so there's always this block of can I really do this? Because I didn't go to college for this. But we were talking about this before. So it was like, you know, you actually do sell a lot when you're in the classroom because, you know, the students are there and they're kind of, you know, forced to be there. So you have to sell the lesson. You have to sell.
They have to buy into the lesson, right?
You have to be passionate about the lesson. You have to show up and you have to like be consistently passionate about it, you know, and show them why this is important to learn. Right. So you are selling in a way in the classroom. So you do have some marketing experience, but one of the things is, yes, like, since you did not go to college for it, there are probably things that would be helpful for you to invest in, like invest in your knowledge because you did invest in college to be able to teach. Right. Now investing in understanding marketing and understanding how to solve people's problems is definitely something that you can do as a teacher too. And I think there's a block there because there's a lot of like hanging on to money in the classroom because you're just not really, you don't always make enough, right? So there's a little bit of a like financial block there. The other thing is that teachers do always ask me like, are you paying for your own health insurance? And my answer is just blank yes. I am paying for my own health insurance.
I get that question often also.
Yeah. So, I mean, the simple answer is yes. The longer version is that you can earn more and you will have to earn more in order to pay for your health insurance. But the great part about that is there's no ceiling of your income when you're an entrepreneur, whereas there's a ceiling in the classroom. You know, you can only go up so high before it kind of tapers off as far as salary increases and things like that. So the benefit thing, I get that question a lot, and it is important to only transition out when you're comfortable or when you do have that income coming in to afford all these things, but it's definitely doable, definitely possible. And then also a lot of teachers that are still in the classroom building up their businesses or looking to build up their businesses are struggling with time, with finding the time to do so. Okay. And, you know, I'm not going to like paint this to be like the perfect picture because it is going to be hard, but we all choose our hard. We choose our hard. Do you want to stay in the classroom and, you know, I don't know what your situation looks like, but you might be burnt out. You might be struggling there. You might be having mental health problems. You don't really have control over your schedule. Or do you want to spend the time now so that, and it's a hard, you know, it's going to be hard, but you're choosing your hard so that your hard is going to look like, you know, creating content is going to look like running your own business, but you're going to have the ability to design your own schedule, to scale your income, to impact more, you know, students out there. So you choose your.
It's so funny you say that because I remember being a teacher and thinking to myself, like, I'm doing all of this work, spending all of this time to make my lessons as perfect as they can be for my students. And then the teacher down the hall was just taking all of my lessons and using them in her classroom. So I'm putting in all of this work. She's not doing anything, but like, you know, it's so frustrating being a teacher and knowing that you're putting in all of this time and effort and other teachers in the same building are not doing much at all, but peaceful. Or sometimes if they're veteran teachers, they're making way more than you and doing less. There's this like feeling of I can never, like the more work I put in, or not the more work I put in, but even though I'm putting in all of this work, there's no way for me to increase my salary. The job that I'm doing doesn't reflect the salary that I'm making. You know what I mean?
That's a good point.
The other putting in all of these extra hours for your own teaching career. Still not reaping the benefits. Whereas you can put in all of those hours and that time into creating your own business. And then, like you said, there's no limit. There's no cap to what you can make because in your own business, the more time and effort you put in, the more money you make.
That's true. And I completely agree with that too. Like it has, even just in my business, it's like the more I've invested, the more time I've put, the more energy I've put, like I've gotten that much more out. And so it's been just a consistent every single year. There's growth there. So like with a business, you do have that control. It's like the more effort you spend, the more everything else is going to increase.
Right.
It's pretty amazing. I love it. I love entrepreneurship.
Yeah, definitely. Now, how do you help teachers navigate the various options and opportunities that they have available to them? Like, do you just show them how they can create businesses on OutSchool? What other things do you teach them, like for online teaching, consulting, starting their own businesses, all of that? What options can you share with teachers that they actually do have available?
Yes, definitely. So first and foremost, I do help with creating this like thriving, successful online teaching business that includes online classes, that includes creating online classes that, you know, spark a passion in students, that, you know, will allow you to replace your classroom teaching salary, will allow you to reduce your teaching time. Because again, I was able to reduce my teaching time while I was still teaching for OutSchool and creating online classes. But then beyond that, you know, in order to reduce your time further and in order to be able to have even more autonomy, travel when you want, like I just booked a flight to my sister's in Montana. I'm just going to travel there and I'm not even going to work during that time. And that's because of my membership. That's because of my, TikTok presence, my Instagram presence, what I'm doing there, the content that I'm, showing up with there. So also what I also help teachers with is how to make, weekly sales so that they can sell a course, sell a membership, sell a coaching program in their content outside of the online classes. Right. So I help teachers navigate this. And the first thing is to start with what is their goal for someone who they're needing right now to transition out of the classroom. We start with the online classes because that is the quickest way to transition out of the classroom and build and replace your classroom teaching salary. That's the quickest way. If their goal is they want more, they want to build a brand online, they have that foundational income, maybe they've transitioned out of the classroom, or maybe they're not really interested in the quickness of that, to transition out right away. And they want more. They want to be a leader. They want to create a movement. They're really passionate about the subject that they want to teach others. That's when we build their movement, their brand online. We create content that solves problems of their ideal client and so forth. And we help them to, show up as a leader and authority online. So those are kind of the two things. It depends on the goals of the teacher.
Right. So now with talking about whether or not the money will come in quickly or more slowly and all of that, do you help teachers create a financial plan or budget in order to ensure that they're going to make the most of their income and achieving those financial goals? Is that something that you talk about at all?
I do. We do go over that. We cover that. The thing that we talk about most is just, with taxes taken out, with health insurance taken out, how much income, and we're really transparent about it. How much income do you need to make? Because we need to, make this goal. We need to meet this goal before you are able to transition out. And if you're not able to meet this goal right now, then a lot of times what we'll do is we will look for other part-time opportunities so that can free up their time so that they're not in the classroom and they don't have time to build their business, right? It is doable in the classroom. Let me just put that out there, but not for everyone. Everyone has their different obligations.
Some people have kids
exactly
that they need to come home to, and they don't have the time to put in that effort for creating their own business at times. So
yeah. So one of the first, questions as a mentor is, what do we realistically need to make for you? Because everyone's situation is different. I do help with that, but I do also always recommend to, get, their own tax accountant and, my dad's a financial consultant. I'm not the expert in that. He is. So, hey, work with my dad. No. So yes.
So can you share some maybe one success story of a teacher who's implemented your strategies and seen a significant increase in their income or their salary?
One of the teachers inside my membership, she was one of the founding members. My membership started in last year in April, and she was able to transition out within 3 months of starting in the membership. And so she transitioned out in the summer, and it was funny because she was just completely floored because she was able to teach she said that she taught for 10 hours a week, and she was able to make half of her classroom teaching income. And that was still kind of early on. And now it's increased even further. And so she is now working about 15 hours a week, and she's almost at that point where she's replaced fully her classroom teaching salary, which is crazy because you think about it in the classroom, it's you're working 40 plus hours a week to earn that. So she's definitely been a huge success story. And she's so, self-driven too, to where she's, doing all this with the strategies in the membership alone. So that was really amazing. And then another online teacher that, currently had online classes and was struggling to earn even a few hundred online. And now he's making over $2,000 per month with his online classes because we just adapted. What was an issue with him is he really didn't understand what the students and families really wanted and desired out of his classes, but he's such a great teacher and his classes did look amazing. It just wasn't hitting his market in a way that it needed to in order to boost his enrollment. So we really worked on that and created classes that, actually was able to be fully booked, created group classes for him so he could reduce his teaching time. So those are the most recent success stories, and I'm just so proud of them. It does definitely take work on their end. So as a mentor, I'm just there to guide. Exactly.
Now, do you see the teaching profession kind of evolving over time in the future? And like, how do you think the teachers can best position themselves to take advantage of like different opportunities that are going to come about? Because I feel like over the last couple of years, online teaching has made such an impact, right? Where we didn't see any of that. I feel like, when COVID hit, that was something that was really greatly impacted with what teachers do now. So do you think that this is going to evolve even further with what teachers are going to do and how they can actually make more of an impact and an income doing online teaching?
I do believe that there's such a need for teachers who actually know how to teach. That's the funny thing is there's a lot of coaches out here in the online space. They truly, like, nothing against them. They just truly have not learned the strategies to teach. They don't really understand. They don't understand, just like we didn't go to college for marketing, they didn't go to college for teaching, and it might not even be their natural inclination. Whereas a lot of teachers, it's like that was their natural calling. Right. So there's a need and demand for teachers that actually know how to teach, that can actually get results online. So I do see that teachers will be showing up. They'll be teaching things that they would have never thought that they could teach in the traditional classroom. I mean, even just in online classes alone, on OutSchool, on these marketplaces, it's like, you can teach chess, they're teaching yoga, and they're teaching like, I'm trying to think of like Minecraft and all these different things.
Oh, wow, really? Okay.
Oh yeah, there's really more. Cool. Oh, there's more. Like there's a class on boogers and stuff. So there's going to be all these different classes that are basically like based off of teachers' passions, based off of.
I would hope that nobody's teacher's passion was boogers, but
I mean, if your passion is boogers, like go for it. There's students that.
If that's your passion, if that floats your boat, then go for it, right?
I mean, that teacher's like selling classes out. Like, I'm not even joking. So anyway,
I believe you.
But not only just in those marketplaces, but even just in the online space on TikTok, in these on these online social platforms, like teachers are going to be showing up able to teach their passions and also being able to have that autonomy, take back control, scale their income further. I mean, there's going to be so many six-figure teachers. There's already millionaire teachers, and it's not, when you think about it, it's not that difficult to reach six figures in the online space. And I know for sure this year, like that's where I'm headed this year. So, I mean, I know that it just grows with time. So teachers are going to understand that they can do so much more than what they have been limited to or made to believe where they're at right now, which is in the classroom. And in turn, that might actually change classroom teaching. And maybe in turn, that will also allow for more respect with teachers and more pay for teachers in the classroom, which is great. Like if this can do both things, then that would be amazing.
Absolutely. I agree. And lastly, what advice would you give to teachers who are looking to increase their income and really have more control in their careers?
I would say the biggest piece of advice is just take messy action.
Love that. I say that all the time.
And also it's going to be messy. True. Like I still take messy action. I mean, I was just talking with Jillian here about, about a block that I've been having in my content lately. And I'm doing it anyway. I'm still taking the messy action. I'm still showing up even when I'm like unsure of what to say.
And a lot of times that messy action is where you learn the most, right? Because you're taking the risks, you're taking chances on yourself and in your messaging, and you're figuring it out along the way. Right. And that experience is what makes such a difference in all the things that you can do.
Sometimes
you may not have thought you were capable of.
Yeah. And the best form of learning is actually teaching someone else how to do something. That's the other thing is that if you can show up and teach, even if you don't know like 100% of what you're saying, like you will get so much more clear the more that you do it. Like even in the last, 2-3 weeks of me showing up and just taking more action in my business than I ever have before, I understand so much more, like just these blocks are just like opening up and I just can see the destination. And so it's like the more action that you can take, it'll get clear, it'll get easier, it'll make more sense for you, and you will reach that goal that you want to reach. And you'll even expand your goals into things that you never even thought were possible once you start reaching those initial goals. So
Totally
keep
agree.
taking the messy action.
I love that. That's great advice.
Mhm.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Jenna, for being here. This was so insightful and you are amazing. Let us know quickly where we can find you. I'll put all the links for you in the show notes, but let us know where we can find you so we can continue to follow you on your journey.
Yes. Well, I'm always on the gram. I'm always on the gram. So that is at it's.JennaLee is my handle. And then I also am always, showing up there on TikTok. And I just love TikTok, just connecting with everyone there. And that's at Hey, it's JennaLee. So just like search in JennaLee everywhere. You'll probably find me.
Okay.
JennaLee online teaching.
Did you say you had a YouTube channel also, or?
I do have a YouTube channel. I don't know what the handle there is, but just search in, JennaLee.
I'll put the link for it. Just send me the link. I'll put it in the show notes.
I'll send you the link there. And that is going to be like more in depth about online classes, creating online classes that sell.
Great. Awesome. Well, thank you so much. This was awesome.
For sure. Thank you so much for
have
having
a great rest of your day.
Yes, you too. All right. Bye, everyone.
I hope that you enjoyed today's interview. If you loved this episode, be sure to subscribe so you can catch all new episodes. Leave a review if something resonated, or even just send me a DM. It means the world to me to hear from you. Thank you for letting me into your business and your life today. We're going to love growing together as you create a profitable and sustainable income selling your teaching resources or services. I'm so honored to be here to make your life a little bit easier with the best advice, training, and mindset shifts to grow your business, and most importantly, save you time and sanity. And I'll see you in the next one.